Hello, this is Angela Brooks from angelabrook.com. And today I just wanted to kind of talk about 7 easy ways to network as an introvert slash extrovert on social media or in person, because we all know that our business is around building connections and relationships. And if you didn't know, you do now. I am an ambivert. That means an extrovert plus introvert, and I can adapt to my environment. I choose not to do large crowds a lot because they really do energy, and this could be you, or maybe you are like me and I couldn't really figure out why I was so exhausted when I went to events with large crowds around me, talking to a lot of different people. And it took me quite some time to figure that out. And once I did, and I learned how to manage my own energy when I was going to be around a lot of people, things got a lot easier. But I would come home from a weekend trip and I would just be exhausted for 2, 3, and sometimes 4 days. It depends on how engaged I was at the time. But once I retreated from an environment, it's going back to my room, going somewhere, if I've rented a car, get in a car and go for a drive by myself, leave me alone. Recharging is my time alone. And then I can go back down and engage with some more people, or I just retreat to my room. I used to think that when I went to events that I had to go out and stay out in the event, till late hours of the night. And sometimes I wanted to, because I have such good friends at events and you only get to see them when you're there. That's the only place that you connect. So you're usually exhausted because you're staying up later than you normally do. You're eating foods that doesn't make you feel exactly fantastic. Maybe you're drinking alcohol, whatever. I learned that it was okay for me to go back to my room and retreat about 8 o'clock. And no matter what happened after that, I was still good. But then I felt well. I felt energized for the next day. Being a ambivert makes networking easier because it comes in short spurts. Large crowds make me nervous anyway, especially nowadays. People are a little bit crazy. Even at professional events, ones that I want to be in. But if you'll notice, a lot of the larger speakers, people that you see there, they retreat early. And that's because a lot of people who are in our industry of network marketing, networking with people, they don't stay out late. A lot of people who are new to the industry, they're trying to absorb every ounce of goodness that they can while they're there. So if you find me, if you're at an event, please come up and say hello and give me your name, because just because I speak to you on social media doesn't mean that you look like the same person in person. We all look different in person. So yes, I probably do know you, but tell me who you are. I have literally even held up my phone and showed them my Facebook profile and go, see, we are connected. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember talking to you. So just remember, in person is a little bit different than when you're on social media. And I like to remember how uncomfortable it was when I first started networking, because I wasn't a huge crowd person and I felt like I had to always be in large crowds, which you don't. But you're going to find me in the back, on the back row, as close to the back row as I can get, usually on the outside corner, closest to the door. I'll usually try to get there early, and everybody's rushing to the front because they want a front row seat. And I'm like, y'all just head on down there, because my spot is right back here where I'll be comfortable. And I just remember how uncomfortable I was. And it's probably been a little bit more than 10 years ago now. When you're at an event, you find yourself huddled in a corner and you stay to yourself. Well, when you're there to build connections and relationships, people see you if you're so introverted that you won't even have a conversation. Because there has been a lot of people that I met at events that were in different companies. And at the time, it was not, neither one of us needed to change what we were presently doing. However, over time, over the years, we have done interviews together, we've done products together, we've done Zoom calls and Zoom trainings together. So you never know who you're going to meet that's going to change your connection status. So here are 7 ways that you can network as an introvert/extrovert on social media and when you go in person at events. You can also find this post. I did this 3 days ago. Gosh, let me see what today's date is. So that would be like March the 10th. If you'd like to go over to my book and scroll to March the 10th, you can see all this that I'm getting ready to talk to you about. Number 1 on social media is commenting. Commenting is low-hanging fruit. It's easy way for you to introduce yourself and get small talk going. It can also gain attention because not everybody does it. They throw up a thumb, they throw up a like button, and they keep going. They don't continue the conversation. And that's where people miss on real networking on social media. Number 2 is asking questions. A great way to get answers and to raise awareness and visibility is asking questions. Every person that you talk to is not your customer. Every person that you talk to will not do business with you, but they may know somebody that they will refer to you down the road. You never know. So a great way is to start asking good questions and continuing the conversation. Ask about problems you face or goals that you have. See, a lot of people that are in our industry, we all have the similar issues and goals that we have. So this also exposes, I like the word like-minded individuals, because I don't know what your mind is like and you don't know what mine is like. When somebody says, oh, we're like-minded, I'm like, no, we're not. You don't know anything about me. So stop using that term. It just makes me cringe. But this exposes people who are willing to actually have a conversation, engage, and become a true relationship connection. Number 3 is direct messages. Easy way to further a discussion that you're having out on open platform, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever. You can take it to the message that's not necessarily a place that you take all of your messages, conversations, but say, hey, I just wanted to ask you a question and I didn't want to ask it in an open forum, and people will usually appreciate that. You can see if that conversation is business or not the more you do this. So simply be extending gratitude, encouragement, birthday messages inside direct messaging. Don't abuse them. If somebody tells you no, no simply means no, and move on. Don't be like a fly in your food at a picnic. There's no other explanation of no, and I don't have to talk them into anything. They're just no, thank you. But when they're ready, you've planted the seed. So just know that no is okay. It may be something later. This is where you stay in touch on social media. They'll remember the message because you've got it in the direct messaging. Just, add little small touches after commenting or asking questions, comment wall, just stay connected. Number 4 is personalized invites after determining it is worthwhile. Like I said, not all people are going to be your customer. Not all people are going to be your business partners. So keep your ears to the ground, as they say, and see if the conversation is worthwhile continuing, because some of them just aren't. Especially if there is common ground, you're already both in network marketing. Like for me, for example, even though they may not want to join me in my network marketing company, I also work with a training company that helps people learn the basics of building online to generate their own leads and sales. We all need software. We all need to be building an email list. And so if they've already got a business and I know that they're content there, then I will mention or offer the training part of it, because there's lots and lots of networkers. There's not as many of as trainers as there are people who are working a business. So find the common ground and support that. Just be respectful and support that. Number 5 is reposting with your own comment. This happens a lot on LinkedIn. It doesn't have the same effect on Facebook as it does on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn will support your repost. And it also highly encourages you to leave a comment when you repost somebody's post. Then you leave your own take on it. And it's like it continues the conversation, but they're both connected at the same time. This is a compliment, a huge compliment when somebody reposts your content, and it demonstrates support that they like what you had to say, or they wanted to continue the conversation to their audience, who now is exposed to you. So it's kind of a soft way of introducing yourself to a whole brand new audience, which is free marketing. Hello, express your interest when you see somebody who's reposted. Make sure you go, hey, thanks for reposting my content. I love your take on this. Thank you. You can start a conversation on their post, which again, both of those posts are connected. Now you've just broadened your audience. Number 6 is be purposeful when you're tagging people. Don't go overboard and avoid mass tagging. Purposeful tagging is usually something that I do for an individual. Again, if you're on my Facebook page, you can scroll down. A friend of mine, Brian, he invited me to do a pop-up call, and I just thanked him on my page, and I tagged Brian in that post, thanking him for adding me to the pop-up. I tagged him, and then I explained exactly why I was tagging him and my gratitude. And then people started, coming in on that conversation. That's the only time I really tag anybody. Some people just go Fruit Loop nuts. You'll see like 89 people into a tagged message. Man, I would disconnect from you in a heartbeat, because that is you just don't do that. So have a sense of, will they resonate with or appreciate the tag, especially if it aligns with an interest or a purpose. Make sure it has a purpose and not tagging 89 people trying to get them to buy your stuff, because let me tell you, they won't. Number 7 is shout outs. Shout outs is the same thing as tagging. You're going to shout out to the ones you admire, learn from, have value. If you went to my LinkedIn training that you can find on my angelabrook.com links page, and say you learned something you didn't know about LinkedIn, and you came and tagged me and said, hey, I just took your the Pulse of LinkedIn course and I learned XYZ. Then people are going to go, well, I need to learn XYZ from a LinkedIn course, which could lead them as referrals from you, which is much appreciated. But you can always, that's another way of getting inside of other people's audiences by saying, I trained with you, I liked what I got, and this is what I learned. So now you've just broadened your audience and given a thank you all at the same time. So you can also, send somebody a direct message to express thank yous and giving them a mention. If they have a big account, that message may get lost in their DMs, because not everybody checks them every single day. But you can at and somebody's name, tag them, and they'll generally see it quicker. So, ask permission, verify how they want to be mentioned if you know the person well. But it just initiates intro conversation, establishes rapport, potentially for being supported by that person as well. Because I've had a lot of really big leaders who have tagged me, and it generated a new audience for me. So the more you support other people, the more they're going to support you. And that's just the way it works. So initiate intro conversations. These are just baby steps to effective network marketing. And I'm going to share a few more of these. And I'm sure you could probably even add a few to this list as well. But shout outs and purposeful tagging, reposting, personalized invites, direct messaging, asking questions, and commenting. That's a good 7 easy way to network, even if you're an introvert on social media. So my name is Angela Brooks. You can learn more about me at angelabrook.com, and I will see you on the next podcast.